Good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get us started. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. Go ahead and start with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University Northridge. Honors their elders past and present and the descendants who are citizens of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here, and we're committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. I'll now hand it over to Attorney General Martinez for the roll call.
Vice President Khan. Here. Senator Aronson. Senator Basilio. Here. Senator Gali.
Here.
Senator Gavino.
Here.
Senator Geminiano Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris. Senator Covinia. Here. Senator Larios. Here. Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Natapure. Senator Nunez. Here. Senator Olgun.
Here.
Senator Perez. Here. Senator Pulliam. Here. Senator Toledo Carranza. And Senator Chen.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Go ahead and go into the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Geminiano Aragon.
I move to approve the agenda for March 24, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Pulliam. Any discussion on the approval of today's agenda? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving today's agenda of March 24, 2025, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to the approval of the minutes for March 10th, 2025. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Nunez.
I move to approve the minutes of March 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Pulliam. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, if there are no objections to the approval of the minutes for March 10th, 2025, they'll pass unanimously. Are there any objections? All right, the minutes will be passed unanimously. We'll now move on to special presentation from the Career Center with Esther Lanier, and we have a presentation that we'll be pulling up for you.
Can you hear me now? Awesome. Okay, well, take two. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to your meeting today. My name is Esther Lanier, and I'm the Associate Director for Employee Relations. I've been with the Career Center about 7 months now and counting, so pretty new to the Career Center. I am twice an alum of CSUN, so go Matadors. But today I'm really here to share with you just more information about the Career Center. I'm hoping that as we move along into the academic year, the Career Center can have stronger collaborations with AS. So I'll get started. All right, so it's an overview of the Career Center, just going over our mission, how we help students, and how we help them access our services and resources, and how we encourage students to stay connected. So within our mission, we are pretty much here to help students discover their values and career goals. Our services and resources, we want them to help manage your career. So after you're done with CSUN, your goal is to get a job, right? So we want to help you that from the get-go, obviously navigating from graduation to work, and obviously looking at staying on track with your career interests or paths. And so we're here to support all majors, all GPAs, undergrads and grads, and even recent alumni too. So how do we help students? We help them with self-exploration through counseling advisements, resources that we have 24/7. And again, our goal is really to connect students to workplace connections, aka the employers, to get you hired, right? And also obviously getting you ready beyond CSUN. If you have any questions. Oh, good morning. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so hopefully one of you has been to the Career Center. Who has been to the Career Center? Thank you. All right, great. So we are in Bohemian Hall 413, and we are there Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4 on Fridays. And students can come in for a drop-in or for an advising appointment as well. Usually a drop-in is really for a quick question. There are peer educators will help students in addressing resume, cover letters, interviewing, just very quick type of career concerns they may have. The appointment with a counselor is more in depth, so that's where the students get to really bring out any other concerns they may have. We have drop-ins as well every day in person and virtually. And also we host EOP drop-ins too. And I'm sure you've heard of Maddie's. And so I oversee Maddie's Closet as well. So we do have drop-ins as well for students. And I'm very excited that coming in the spring we'll be here. So we'll be in a very central location where we can help students even more. But again, follow us on social media. That's really where we're posting all of our events that are taking place. So as we help students explore their interests and what they want to do with their major or what they want to do beyond just getting their first internship by looking into a job, we do career assessments, the strengths. We do a values card sort or the strong interests inventory. We also have the Own It profiler through CareerLink, and obviously we do the Myers-Briggs as well. So all of those resources can be easily accessible through CareerLink. And again, these are deeper conversations that we have with the students as they're looking to explore what their interests are. So CareerLink is pretty much our hub where all of our online resources are housed. And so these are 24/7 tool that students can utilize whether they're looking for more self-discovery to what can I do with this major to how do I get ready for the job search. So if you have not gotten on CareerLink yourselves, I encourage you to try it out. But I wanted to highlight a couple of different resources that I find very valuable, especially what can I do with this major. As most of you know, the importance of, for example, being part of professional associations. And so that is one great tool that can align your major with a professional association as well. BuzzFile is an opportunity to take a look at the various employers that are throughout the nation and what type of jobs they have. And going global, although you may think that it's only for international students, it is a source too that you can utilize in terms of identifying jobs throughout the nation by city. And UniWorld, this is to identify U.S. companies based abroad and international companies based here in the U.S. as well. Obviously, most of you know about LinkedIn, but if you have not utilized LinkedIn Learning, please do so and get your certificates and really skill up your skill toolkit, I would say. And Candid Career is an opportunity for students to really tap into alumni as well and learning more about what a day in the life of that particular person or that particular job is all about. And Ask a Matador. Alumni is a great base that we have here at CSUN. So Ask a Matador is a great tool that I encourage all of you to definitely tap into. So this is a couple of just different events that are just hosting the semesters. Coming in as the Associate Director for Employee Relations, I really wanted to make the programming really robust. And so we are just doing that all along until the end of the semester. And these are just some particular resources, you can say, or flyers that you can take a look into. All of our events are on the website as well. Continuing, obviously, we do have April 15th, a recent grad and alumni career fair, or job fair. Encourage you to attend that as well. The Earth Fair is canceled, so we got to update that one. But and then we also have, I wanted to really bring back into the fold employers and having the students really learn from the employers. So I've created this Matador Insights type of programming where it involves panels of employers. And so coming up, we'll be having sports industry. That's going to be on the 27th of this month, this week. So, so that's when events are taking place all the time. And there's more information on that. And again, just in general, as students are looking to launch their careers beyond CSUN, Handshake is our go-to tool. That is where the employers are posting their opportunities, jobs, internships, volunteer. Again, LinkedIn, Parker Dewey is a micro internships type of resource where students will get paid for internships that they get to partake in for a short period of time. And so the other resources you see here are through CareerLink. And so in terms of 4-H as well, that is another great tool where students can take a look at doing 6 to 8 week type of projects that they can definitely leverage and put on their resumes for experience. And then we have that from here to career program at the Career Center as well, really helping students to move from college, not high school, college to beyond. And again, this is just once students are done with CSUN, we do serve them up to 1 year out. And those services include 3 career counseling sessions through email, Zoom, or phone, bless you. Or we also have drop-ins as well. The online resources that we have are accessible to them 24/7. And again, that's Handshake, CareerLink, and obviously any of the events that we have coming up. For example, the recent Grand Alumni Job Fair. Again, follow us. Are there any questions for me?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you guys have a statistic of how many students have gotten a job from the Career Center, like post-grad?
Yeah, so actually, we are, to my knowledge, I don't. Obviously, I'm very new to the Career Center, but we are launching the first destination survey with the intentionality to start gathering that data as far as where our students are going. But we do have also, and then resources escaping me right now, where it's collective at the CSU level. I'm forgetting the name. I'm sorry. Yes. What is it called? Oh, okay. That one. The name is escaping me, but there is this resource where all CSUs are tracking where, at least for the organization that the students are going to, and what their initial salaries are. Yes.
That's great. Senator Nunez.
Thank you for coming in and explaining this to us, especially for like some seniors or, juniors that are coming up for graduation. It comes out quick, so this is really resourceful. Have you ever collaborated with faculty members on like classes? I know, like, for example, an internship class where it's mostly like seniors or junior based, where you can maybe do a presentation. Is there ever available, or is that something that maybe you have thought about doing? I know because this is like really I know we get a lot of emails or just like a lot of events that you all hold that are really resourceful, but especially coming directly into these classes, maybe sometimes students can't really go to these extra events. Has there ever been a conversation about that?
So we do partner with U100 and U300 classes. So that is definitely one way that we are immersing ourselves into the classroom. We do get a lot of requests from departments and student organizations too to come and present on a very specific career topic. So that is a constant collaboration that we do have. Obviously, within the time that I've been here, extending ourselves to the faculty is also part of my responsibility. So that is in the works. And so I'm still building also my team. And I'm hoping that hopefully by the end of April that I do have my last team member on. And so it's really to be more strategic and being able to connect more with faculty for sure. Yes.
I have another question.
Yes.
How are you guys going to be adapting to the change in Maddie's Closet to the nest? And is there going to be an expansion? Are you guys hiring more staff, like, et cetera? Do you have any details?
Yeah, so the last team member that I'm looking to hire will be overseeing Maddie's Closet. And when we are fully staffed with students, about 6 of them. So obviously there will be staff here that will be running the center with Maddie's Closet. Expansion in terms of more staff, probably not. Students, probably not. So, but even within the foot traffic that we get right now, our students are a godsend. They are running the show with Maddie's Closet, and so they are really our hands on deck when it comes to helping the students. And so I am really excited to actually have more foot traffic as we become, centralized here. So we will definitely have to take a look and, make things happen as our time here evolves. So
Thank you. That's great. All right. Senator Pulliam.
Hello, thank you so much for coming in. I was just wondering, this is like just an off-the-wall question, but I was wondering, since you guys do provide a lot of different services, what is like a service that you feel like the average student doesn't know a lot about and therefore not having it used as much it could be?
I think it goes a little bit more in terms of more students have not been at the Career Center. So the most utilized resource, I would say, is getting their resume reviewed as they prepare themselves for jobs on campus or off campus. So yeah, so that's one of my team members' goal too is to do rebranding of the Career Center. And so this is where collaborations with AS, for example, will be great because it helps us to get the word out to students. And so I'm really excited to see what that will look like. Our summer is going to be very busy. We're starting to really look at what that will look like, so that when we start in this fall semester, we have kind of like this launch of the rebirth of the Career Center, I call it. So
Yeah, that's great. I'm like thinking of ideas right now. I wish we didn't have like only 2 months left, but I could think of great ideas of maybe having some individuals from the Career Center just being out, like tabling at an event saying like, hey, I can help you review your resume right now, or
yeah,
something like that, you know? I think
yeah.
that's great.
I think that definitely, email me,
Mhm.
and send me your ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senator Olgan.
Thank you so much. Saying that now, I'm just thinking about, how CalFresh have drop-in hours and they go different departments. And what if we have something like that? Not thinking about. But my question was actually, why there's a limit for alumni only for 1 year, who just graduated, and also what is happening in that 3 sessions, like how the Career Center came up with that number 3, limited 3 sessions, and what's happening in that 3 sessions.
Yeah. So the 1 year, we partner with the Alumni Association too, and we're a small department, right? So, and our main concern is obviously servicing the students, current students. So just logistically and staff-wise, there's no way that we could say, hey, all of us are available for you. So there has to be some way to leverage that. And so within the 1 year, and most of the students that come to the Career Center within the 1 year, they are recent grads, obviously, right? So, and what happens in those 3 sessions, it's really up to the student or to the recent grad to tell us what they want, whether it be I'm looking for a job or I'm just looking to prepare more for the job search. What does that look like? Where do I start? So it's really up to the individual to really address what they're wanting to talk to us about.
Thank you. In that case, is there a limit for current students, like how many times they could visit a Career Center, and
No.
there's no limit?
All the
Okay.
time. We want to see the careers are busy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reason why I asked, because compared to if there was a data, which is you don't have data right now, but how many times the student coming to Career Center receiving any type of services compared to alumni is only limited 3 to success. And that's what I was gonna see, like if there's a comparison example, if the current student visiting Career Center 6, 7 times and finally finding a job, let's say that was their goal, compared to alumni only 3 times, and see how it can help them success. That was the only reason.
Right. And I think that the message is too that, using your services doesn't start when you're a senior. It starts when you said yes to CSUN, and so tapping into those resources right away, the Career Center being one of them. So, again, when we're working with the students, it's really giving them the resources, and showing them how to use the resources. A lot of students right now are not knowing how to use Handshake, or they don't think it is just, well, it's only for business students. It's not. So our goal within the Career Center, even in my past role as being a career counselor, is to really help the student explore beyond my major is this, therefore it equals this job. That's obviously very clear for some very straightforward majors, your engineering, your accounting, right? Very straight path. But for other majors, it's really based on your interests, what experiences you've garnered, and what industries you're looking to go into. So it's really helping the student explore deeper than just tell me what job this major will get me. That's very limiting. So.
Senator Geminiano Aragon.
Yes, thank you for being here today. So one of our duties as senators is making an event every semester for our constituents. And most of the times we want to connect or enhance our student experience by helping them with job opportunities, internships, all of this. But of course, as students, we are not really well informed. So I really appreciate you coming here and just opening the doors to collaboration. Who could we contact specific to the Career Center if we wanted to collaborate with you or ask for help for these events?
Me. So that's why I'm very thankful that I'm here because I know the importance of collaborating with, established organizations. And for me, the goal is to really to create more engagement. So as we look into the fall semester, within the Career Center, we don't plan a month out. We're planning already in the summer for fall and, for the spring. So the more you can partner with us and giving us an idea as to this is what we're planning and, the collaboration door is open. So I think that's really where we come in to like, okay, how does, what your particular idea is, how is that aligning with the Career Center? And, I thrive at being able to collaborate and, get more forces involved for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I had let Esther know that I think it would be really great if we did collaborate and coming and presenting to actually just get everyone acquainted to the Career Center, especially for individuals that are planning on returning to AS next year for those like means of collaboration. So, Senator Pulliam.
Hello. So, in one of the slides you had the Ask the Matador, and you said that I believe it was alumni that worked on it. Is that exclusively just alumni that like manages that? And then also, do you have people from like each department or major working on like with it under that as well?
Yeah, so Ask a Mentor is run by the Alumni Association. So how that works is that there's a form you submit and you ask the question. I'm looking for an alumni that graduated 3 years ago that's in XYZ industry, or I'm looking for an alumni that can help me prepare for my technical interviews, for example. And so then once the Alumni Association receives that message, they will go into their database and connect you to alumni. And so once you receive that, then it's up to you to follow up with the alumni. So it is run by the Alumni Association. And it's for current students and even after, so
Yeah.
you yourselves will be part of it. So once you graduate.
And definitely the Alumni Association loves to collaborate with students. That's all they've been, telling me this year is how can we collaborate with students. So to any senators that are still needing to plan events for the rest of this semester or for next year, definitely reach out to the Alumni Association or whoever is going to be sitting on your board, the board for the Alumni Association next year, or me, because I sit on the board right now, and have them reach out because we have around 425,000 living addressed alumni.
Yeah.
And around a little over 300,000 are just living in Los Angeles. So they're accessible. Yeah.
I would definitely love to see from the Alumni Association perspective, a lot more local chapters. I know they have some already, but, just to expand what that will look like because alumni are everywhere and not just local, but in every state, alumni from everywhere. So,
Yeah.
oh, Christina Bernstein is the person you want to get in touch with at the at the Alumni Association.
Does anyone have any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you, Esther. I appreciate it. I hope you all take advantage of the Career Center and their resources.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And please, as we move into the new year and the new board gets elected, please be in contact with me. I'm really looking forward to the fall semester and collaborating in whichever ways. So
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Esther.
again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Senator Toledo Carranza.
Permission to recognize.
Granted. Senator Perez.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Senator Miyoshi.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Okay. All right, we'll now move into open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Is there anyone here for open forum? Damn, no James either, huh? All right, seeing none, we'll move into unfinished business. First item is to approve the Senate agenda from March 10th, 2025. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Basilio.
I move to approve the Senate agenda for March 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Heminiano Aragon. Any discussion? This is because we did not have quorum at the start of last week's meeting, or not last week, 2 weeks ago's meeting. Okay, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Senate agenda for March 10, 2025, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to the last item from unfinished, to approve the Senate minutes for March 3rd, 2025. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Heminiano Aragon.
I move to approve the Senate minutes for March 3rd, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Any discussion? Seeing none, if there are no objections, we'll go ahead and approve the Senate minutes for March 3rd, 2025. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes for March 3rd have passed unanimously. All right, new business, exciting stuff, to approve the 2025-26 AS annual budget. So I will recommend that we have whoever is making a motion to table this item. We're just going to essentially have this, and I'll explain it more in discussion, but we'll be having it in our agenda for the next 2 weeks or so. But yes, is there a motion on the floor? Senator Gavino.
I move to table the 2025-26 AS annual budget to next week.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. And to start discussion, to preface for the minutes, we don't have a meeting next week, so it'll just be our next meeting. But I think we're all on the same page about that. Okay. To start discussion, do you want to kick it off? Putting you on the spot.
Hey everyone, so just regarding it, so the way the process typically works is that after the Code of Finance and the annual budget gets approved by the Finance Committee, it goes to the AS President, and Katie had a week to review. She got back to me with her various comments, and then those adjustments got made to the annual budget. I can briefly cover some of those. So an additional 5,000 was allocated to the AS Executive Cabinet budget to support Associated Students' annual donations to the Season Food Pantry. Another $25,000 was allocated to enhance cultural center resources on campus as per the AS President's recommendation. And lastly, as pledged in SB 2024-2025, for call to action in support of undocumented students, 20,000 has been allocated to the CSUN Dream Center per the AS President's recommendation. So those are the changes that you're going to see reflected in the AS annual budget. And this is, you're going to find it under the AS executive budget in the Google sheet that has been attached to that Senate agenda. And aside from that, other changes include the updates to the Code of Finance. So now there is 2 dedicated sections, one on the Code of Finance in general, and one on finance procedures at Associated Students. And regarding that, some of the key changes include now that there is an allowance for food and beverages for single day events, just as long as they are a single day event, and they are limited to 250 per single day event at a maximum of 2 events per fiscal year. And any food expenses must comply with the AS hospitality policy. And lastly, another change that was made in the code is the increase of STAR from $600 to $800, and the per night lodging allocation increased from 120 to 160. So those are like the main changes for that. So as you know, you all already received the budget, and this is going to be tabled for the next 2 weeks per the reviewing policy that is set in place. And
all proposed amendments must be formally submitted in writing um, on Monday, April 7th, before the Senate meeting adjourns. And we will review and vote on the April 7th amendments on April 14th before finalizing the budget. So yes, I'm going to be sending out a form for those annual budget changes if you wish to make any amendments, and please just get those back to me by April 7th so that the code and annual budget can be ready to be voted on. Is there any questions?
Are there any questions? So generally, this is the time for anyone to propose any amendments, not now, but to think of any amendments that they would like to make, or just to review the budget more thoroughly. Yeah, this is a really important thing. This is probably one of the most important things that we'll be voting on this year. So definitely get a chance to review it when you get that. And yeah. Any other discussion? No. Senator Pulliam?
I just have a question for, I see that the Children's Center, it was like duplicated, and then the first one, it looks like it isn't the one that's going to be used. The first one, the one that it looks like it's not going to be used is a higher number than the other one. Why is there a discrepancy in these two numbers? Just question.
Yes, so the way that it was formatted in the annual budget sheet, you would go off of the Children's Center #2 budget. So if there's any duplicates, just go off of, it should be on the notes, but for the Children's Center one in particular, it's the second one. So it's a shame, AS Children's Center 2.
Thank you. And Leslie, I totally forgot to ask you this before this meeting, but I know that either you or Lionel told me that the student legal clinic is already on the budget. But I had added it because I didn't see it on the executive cabinet budget. But could you confirm if it's actually there or not? Because I'm checking again and it's not there. Sorry, I put Leslie on the spot right now. Yep, go ahead.
If I may ask Tim regarding this, regarding the AS Legal Clinic, is it under one of the general AS budgets for the departments?
I would believe so. Lionel spoke with me last week and said it was included after he reviewed Katie's additions to the budget. I would have to, from what I can remember, and I haven't been able to find it yet, is it's down at the bottom. I think it's not in the actual, down where the scholarships are, I think is where he may have placed it. Where he adds the scholarship IRA.
Okay, sorry, everyone that's watching this meeting is like, why are they pausing so much? So Chair Ponce, we can go ahead and talk about this after. But Lionel had told me in an email that it's under the Student Leadership Office budget, but it's still not here. But we can sort it out. That's not a problem. But okay, sounds good. Is there any other discussion? Senator Perez,
Permission to be recognized.
granted. Any further discussion? Senator Miyoshi,
Permission to be recognized.
granted. Okay, we'll go ahead and take this to a vote then. All right, so all in favor of tabling the approval of the 2025-26 AS annual budget to the next meeting, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to our next line item to approve the 2025-26 Code on Finance and Procedures. Same thing with this, I believe. We would recommend tabling this item. Is there a motion? Senator Nunez.
I move to table to approve the 2025-26 Code on Finance and Procedures to next meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Olgan. Any discussion? There were some big changes on this. We get to fund food now if this is approved. And the star amount is raised by $200. Any discussions or questions? Senator Toledo Carranza.
Is only the addition of the food the one that is being changed, or is there any other additions?
It is also the star amount, but Chair Ponce, do you have any other additions?
Yeah, so those are the main ones, the addition of food, and also the increase in star. And then the other change was more so verbiage about like reusable banners and tablecloths to allow multiple just as long as they are reusable and under the $150 threshold.
And everyone can reference attachment 4 for that. Senator Perez.
Do either the code or budget need to be approved before one or the other?
No.
Okay, that's all I just. Thanks.
Yeah, the only thing is that we have it so that you all table it today, and then it'll give you all enough time to prepare any amendments if necessary by the April 7th meeting, which is our next Senate meeting. And then it will be tabled again and then finally approved with any amendments that the board deems necessary on the April 14th meeting. That's the final day it'll actually be approved. Any further discussion on the Code on Finance amendments? Okay, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the tabling of the 2025-26 Code on Finance and Procedures to the next meeting, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. All right. Before we go into reports, I'd like to take like a 2-minute recess for Dr. Watkins to facilitate the oath of office for our new senator, Senator Larios. So if you would like to stand up, come to the... Oh, did you have a oath of office? You already did? Okay. Go ahead, Senator Larios. Just by the podium, and then Dr. Watkins will do this.
Good morning, Senate. Hope you all had a wonderful spring break. Some of us are around here working really hard, but hopefully you had a good break. Hi. Let me have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name.
I, Dorian Larios,
Promise to meet the responsibilities set before me
promise to meet the responsibilities set before me
and to uphold the Constitution and bylaws
and to uphold the Constitution and bylaws
of the Associated Students,
of the Associated Students
California State University, Northridge.
of California State University, Northridge.
I also promise to comply with the policies and regulations
I also promise to comply with the policies and regulations
of California State University, Northridge,
of California State University, Northridge,
and of the state of California.
and of the state of California.
On behalf of this august body here and the faculty, staff, and students of Cal State Northridge, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Woohoo! That's exciting. Now you're officially a senator. Just kidding. You've been officially a senator this whole time. But now it's cooler, right? Now you're like, oh, I'm ready. Now you're going to start making motions and amendments and all this stuff, and it's going to be cool. Cool, awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Watkins. I appreciate it. All right, we'll now go into reports, starting with mine. Hi, everyone. I feel like I'm actually surprised I'm not like rusty with the chairing. It's been 2 weeks, but good to see everyone. So since we last met, Senator Shirzadi gave his report, my report on his behalf, when he was chairing the meeting. So kind of some things. So we did have chess and plenary at Sacramento State. The big thing with the plenary that we had was the board of directors approved a resolution to establish a system-wide CSU undocumented student advisory council framework for comprehensive support for comprehensive support. So that's a really big step up on top of the conversation on undocumented students and individuals in the CSU. So CSSA had recently just approved that. And then I'm sure Vice President Khan will talk more about chess. I'm going to leave her to that. And then Faculty Senate, we had Faculty Senate 2 weeks ago. Biggest thing, there was a lot of pushback from Faculty Senate on the AI initiatives and the whole chatgpt.edu. I'm sure you all have heard about it. If you haven't, let me know and I can answer questions. But essentially, I think it's this week or in 2 days that it'll officially start chatgpt.edu. So this is a whole CSU thing. This is coming out of the chancellor's office. And yeah, every Cal State will have access to a ChatGPT account through their student account. Again, if you have more questions, you can ask me after my report, or we can talk about it aside from this. I don't know if I said this, but me and Senator Gavino serve on the AI task force on campus, so we'll definitely be able to get your questions answered very easily. But yeah, Faculty Senate is not really happy about it, but it's an interesting space that we have now entered. As we just had the AS budget, so like Chair Ponce said, I had recommended that we added an extra $5,000 to our food pantry annual contribution to kind of make up for the adaptation that they're going to be having with the Valera Nest, since we're anticipated that is opening the early 2026, I believe. So something good with the food pantry now is that they'll be able to serve perishable food. So definitely want to make sure that, you know, AS is still showing support as much as we can with that big change. Next thing is $20,000 for the Dream Center. I'm working with Senator Gavino and Senator Toledo Carranza on a stipulation with having meetings with the Dream Center. And then $25,000 for cultural houses and resource centers. So those are going to our various one of our resource centers and the rest of our cultural houses. Around it's like $5,000 for each. Generally, it's just a obvious contribution. There isn't a specific reason for it, but I'm going to be also working on a stipulation for that. So it's easier for you all to look at. And then Advocacy Day, so that's where I was half of spring break last week. I went back to Sacramento alongside Shafali Mistry, who's our Associate Vice President for Government and Community Relations, and President Beck. Shout out to Dr. Ward. I ran into her in the hotel. She was there for a completely different conference, and I honestly was like, Dr. Ward, are you here for Advocacy Day too? She's like, no, I'm here for something completely different. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I was checking into my hotel and she walked into the hotel lobby and I was like, this is crazy. And then also when I was leaving the lobby, she also was there. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. The universe does some pretty awesome things. I was really excited to mention that in my report today. I was like, I have to tell someone. But essentially, the biggest thing with Advocacy Day, and there was like the majority of what we were really focusing on in chess, is Governor Newsom's proposed 7.95 cut to the CSU budget. And that's nearly like $400 million to all 23 or 22 campuses. And similarly to chess, except I had more meetings with the actual legislators themselves. We had various meetings with our elected officials that represent CSUN. So that's Senator Carolyn Menjivar, Senator Suzette Valadares, Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez, the Chief of Staff of Assemblymember Nick Schultz, and President Beck and the Chancellor's delegation met with Assemblymember Jesse Gabriel because he's the chair of the Budget Committee. So they didn't trust me in that meeting, I guess. But yeah, and then Assemblymember Pilar, Assemblymember Tom Lackey, and Assemblymember Jackie Irwin. And everyone really was receptive to the asks that we had and regarding the budget and just not cutting the CSU. And the majority of the elected officials in our delegations, it was around 6 out of the 9, signed the budget sign-on letter that Assemblymember Mike Fong, who's a CSUN alum and chair of the Assembly Higher Education Committee, distributed for both the Assembly and the Senate. Essentially, the letter requests rejection of the cuts to the CSU and UC. So yeah, that was a great experience. And to finish up, work has definitely been picking up in both the AS Executive Director Search and Screen Committee, as well as the AVP for Enrollment Services Search and Screen Committee. So if you see less of me, that is why. But yeah, both those searches are kind of happening in tandem with each other. Dr. Watkins knows it's not really great with my scheduling. John also knows. I'm really sorry. But yeah, last thing. See, I was surprised that James wasn't here, but this is probably why. Big Show is this Saturday. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, please go ahead and do so. I'm sure there's volunteering. Is there are you guys doing volunteering this? No. Okay, never mind. But yeah, Big Show's happening this Saturday. So if you'd like, get your tickets and go. I'll be there. Are you going? Okay, so we're both going, so you might as well go. But yeah, it's at 2 o'clock, University lawn. Don't go to Beyond. Go to Big Show. I'm just kidding. No, actually go to Big Show though. Come on. You could go to Big Show and then go to Beyond after. See, look at Daniel. Daniel agrees. Okay, last thing. So last day to submit referrals is going to be April 7th. That gives everyone in committees around 2 to 3 weeks to finish up the referrals that they have so far. So we also don't have Senate next Monday, so that's why it's April 7th. And because of Cesar Chavez Day, and I'll be in DC that week of April 7th to the 11th for Hill Day. Just another kind of advocacy thing. And so I may not be at Senate. Hey, she'll have the gavel. But yeah, that is all for my report. Are there any questions? Senator Pulliam.
Big Show starts at 2, but around when does it end?
I would say, yeah, 7, yeah. 7, yeah, 7. 7. Any questions? Any other questions? That's funny. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the Vice President's report with Vice President Khan.
Good morning. I hope everyone had a restful spring break. This is officially the last leg of the academic year, which is so exciting. And it's probably even more exciting for our graduates because this might be your last leg of your college career. Really daunting. I am going to use my report to just talk about chess and the advocacy we did. I want to first thank the delegation for being so amazing. And I'll start with the plenary, which was Saturday. During my committee, which was the System-Wide Affairs Committee, we had a presentation from the survivors/victim advocates in the CSU, which was very informative. And we do have a chapter on CSUN's campus, which I had personally never heard of. And if you know of them, I highly recommend connecting with them further. And I really hope it expands and becomes a more well-known campus entity that we have. And this is separate from the Title IX or the Office of Equity and Compliance. This is just for advocacy for survivors or victims of what may be a Title IX case, but they're separate. We also approved an action item, which Katie did mention, because it went to the board of directors straight after, which was the resolution to establish the system-wide CSU undocumented student advisory. And I did report on that last time I came back from plenary. So if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer. Or if you want to see the resolution, I can show that to you too. And then we had an information item regarding a resolution in support of trans rights and trans athletes' rights to participate in sports. And this information item was presented by SJSU, President Ariana Laxon. And her presentation and the conviction she spoke with, along with the data-driven information, it was just truly remarkable. It was an amazing presentation. And we're predicting that this resolution that was presented on is going to be voted on during our last plenary in May to give discussion time for any potential amendments/additions. If you want to read it, I can show it to you. It's not public yet because it hasn't been voted on yet. But honestly, it was a fantastic resolution. Like, I don't even have words for it. It was great. I had goosebumps the whole time. And during the executive committee, which consists of the executive team of CSSA, which is 4, and the vice chairs, which is 4, we voted on the student advocate of the year, and it was actually tied between 2 candidates. So we did something very unorthodox, and we selected 2 student advocates of the year. And one of those student advocates was none other than Kiri Saravia, our chair of Ledge Affairs, which is really awesome. That's a system-wide thing. So out of, our 500,000 students, Kiri is one of them. That's so cool. And now for the conference. The conference itself was very educational. There were several breakout rooms with topics ranging from understanding the state budget to how to advocate for undocumented students, and a session on how to lobby. If you have any questions about what those sessions look like, go bother one of the delegates. They should be able to tell you. Or you can bother me, obviously. And at the conference, Mike Fong, who was mentioned earlier, was awarded legislator of the year or something along those lines, because he's such a great legislative partner. And I feel like it was really well deserved because of the work he had done, which Katie did go over. And if you want to see kind of like why I do have a lot of respect for him, he did write a letter regarding the budget and the cuts. And it's a really well thought out letter. And he had several supporters, like whether they were senators or assembly members, sign it. So if you want to see that letter, I do have it. It's also available online. Great letter. And then you can also kind of see which assembly members and senators really do stand up for our higher education rights, because it's a lengthy list of people who signed. And then, you can see who kind of didn't sign, which side eye. All right. And then as for lobbying, our team absolutely knocked it out of the park. We had 10 total meetings. I'll read out the names actually. We met with Assembly Member Steve Bennett, Assembly Member Jackie Irwin, Senator Monique Limon, Senator Henry Stern, Assembly Member Nick Schultz, Assembly Member Pilar Schiavo, Senator Caroline Menjivar, Assembly Member Tom Lackey, Assembly Member Jesse Gabriel, and Assembly Member Celeste Rodriguez. All of these meetings were very successful based off of what I heard. And if you have any questions about how particular meetings went with particular legislators, I can totally refer you to the delegate who attended that meeting, and you can kind of discuss with them what their takeaways were. I wasn't in all of them. We kind of split them up between the delegation, but obviously everybody did a fantastic job. I met with Pilar Schiavo's office along with 4 other delegates, which she herself was present for, which was really cool. We had a really constructive conversation, and we know and we love Pilar Schiavo here because she does amazing work for CSUN, the Valera Nest, which construction we can currently hear. She's just so great, and she stayed for an hour, which was really cool. I was expecting 20 minutes. And then I also met with Assemblywoman Rodriguez's office, and her staffer was very, very receptive, and she was a woman of STEM, which I appreciated. All right, and that was it for chess. And circling back to, there being a few weeks left of the semester, please feel free to reach out if you need assistance, like executing your ideas or support for any of your work. One of my goals as the year concludes is for all of you to achieve any and all of your goals. So let me know. That's it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Vice President's report? Senator Jimeniano Aragon.
Not a question, but also a comment. A legislation that we were advocating for was Senate Bill 89, right? 98, which is in support of undocumented students, was just passed last week. So this is just an evidence of like our advocacy efforts, that lobbying works, and just that, we're here for our students and let's just keep the good work.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, great. Seeing none, move on to the Chief of Staff's report with Chief of Staff Ramos.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a restful spring break. I know I did. I hit the beach a few times. Um, the ocean heals all, guys. I'm just saying. Alrighty, let's get into it. It is a lengthy report. We did get a new cabinet member. Very, very exciting. So I'll be reading his report as well today. So please bear with me. Thank you. Okay, great. So as for my report, as usual, holding bi-weekly meetings and check-ins with key cabinet members. These, again, if you guys are curious, these discussions are focused on aligning goals, reviewing ongoing initiatives, and addressing any challenges or like events. I've been having one-on-one meetings with President Karoum and also Denise. Also looking over cabinet timesheets. That's been very fun. And then just to bring I'm sure you guys heard this, but I did meet with the Career Center for a program review, and I'm just letting you guys know, utilize your resources. They are there to help you. And they also collab. I know we only have a month left, but if you guys are coming back, they're always there. So, just a quick little reminder. As for Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, he's finalizing stuff for Spring into Unity, which will take place in April. He's finalizing locations, dates, and times. Submitted to marketing and ordered 500 stickers. So look out for the stickers, guys. They're really cute. And then submitted stamp cards for Cultural Fair with Daniel. And then had a few meetings with the head of Queer Prom, and then set up a meeting with the event coordinators. And completed his budget sheet. So, yay. As for Chair of Legislative Affairs, I feel like a lot of it was covered. But once again, Shui participated in Chess Advocacy Day, attended with everyone else, 10 meetings with assembly members and Senate offices. One of the bills she advocated for was amended and will be heard by one of the. Okay, that was the one that you guys were talking about. So that was let me take that one off. Let's see. She learned about state budget and how she can become a better student, be a better supporter to student parents. And then she helped create a new section for CSSA Finance Committee focused by the corporate social responsibility. So that is what she has been doing. Very, very busy girl. As for Chair Personnel and Communication, there are 2 interview requests, 10 eligibility checks in progress. There are 3 potential appointments, and then 1 interview has been conducted. As for tabling has been canceled due to weather, and then they're currently discussing when to reschedule it. Once they do reschedule it, I'll let you guys know immediately. And then they're also doing a send out for Member of the Month for March. So please be on the lookout for that as well. As for Chair of Elections, she has been extremely busy. She met with the MIC Alyssa and coordinator regarding tabling and marketing forms for candidates. She's met with the USU representative to further discuss AS elections and BOD collaborations. She has held 4 mandatory orientation sessions for all applicants who filed. She also sent out eligibility status emails for every student who filed, informing them whether they can run or not. She answered these emails as well. And she has also been in constant communication with Denise regarding elections. As for her assistant chair of elections, she hosted some of the orientations for those campaigns, and then she also spread awareness about joining the street team. And last but not least, our Chief Justice, Cesar Rosales. He spent the majority of his time adjusting to his new position, reviewing existing documents and information about his role, and researching responsibilities of Chief Justice roles across the CSU system. He's also worked closely with several senators and members at large in internal affairs and potential changes to make edits on the role of Chief Justice Code. He also said thank to Senator Basilio, Chair of Legislative Affairs Saravia, and Senator Gavino for their diligent work on making changes to the Chief Justice Code and for their friendly collaboration. And that is all for today. Once again, thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Great. Are there any questions on the Chief of Staff's report? Senator Toledo Carranza.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Okay, seeing none. Before we continue with reports, I'm actually gonna have us go into I'm gonna temporarily adjourn this meeting, and then we're gonna go into the special meeting agenda that is scheduled for 10 a.m. So I'll go ahead and call that meeting to order at 10:03 a.m. I'll pass it over to Attorney General Martinez for the roll call.
Vice President Khan. Here. Senator Aronson. Senator Basilio. Here. Senator Gali.
Here.
Senator Gavino.
Here.
Senator Geminiano Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris. Senator Covinia.
Here.
Senator Larios.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Senator Nadebure. Senator Nunez.
Here.
Senator Olgan.
Here.
Senator Perez.
Here.
Senator Pulliam.
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza. And Senator Tran.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. We'll move into the approval of the agenda for March 24, 2025. Is there a motion to approve? Senator Basilio.
I move to approve the special, wait,
Mhm.
I move to approve the agenda for the special meeting on March 24, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Did you second? Okay, you seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, if there are no objections to the approval of today's agenda, they will pass unanimously. Any objections? Seeing none, the special meeting agenda for March 24, 2025 passes unanimously. We'll move past special presentation, open forum, and reports into new business. If you guys want, I know this is a lot of appointments. If any senator deems necessary, they could just make the motion to approve appointments 1 through 7 instead of needing to go line by line. Up to you all. Senator Nunez.
I move to approve the following appointments, line items 1 through 7.
Yep. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Olgan. Any discussion? Senator Gavino.
Point of information, probably from the Chief of Staff. Do you know how many members there are currently on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee?
I can check. Denise, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing 4 on my end. Four out of 10. But Denise, if you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's only 3.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Senator Olgan.
For the 7th person, Korkmaz Arben,
Mm-hmm.
is the name is like Arben Korkmaz or Korkmaz Arben? Is it a mistake?
Oh,
By
I
any
see what you're
chance?
saying.
Yeah.
Do you think Arben is supposed to be the first name and not the last name? that what you're
In
saying?
my knowledge, Korkmaz is the last name.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
Let me check. You're correct. That's okay. I can preface right now in discussion that Arben is the first name and Korkmaz is the last name of the line item 7. Thank you. That's important. Oh, Senator Pulliam, sorry. Like my perspective is not over there.
All good. I just wanted to say I wanted to shout out Crystal that's on this list. She's a deaf student here that has worked on like the Blues project and is very accomplished, and I'm very excited for hopefully taking the seat in this position.
Thank you, Senator Pulliam. Well-deserved shout out. Senator Basilio. Oh, another shout out?
Yes, I'm sure you guys, or you should know who Max is. He's our front desk assistant. He's really great. He's really funny. He's really dedicated to the stuff he puts his like time in, time into. So I know he's gonna do very well in this committee. Um, Also Raymond Cruz, he's a childhood friend, so he was like, I want to get involved. And I was like, okay, apply. Let's see if you get in.
Let's see if he gets in. It's up to you all. You guys will decide his fate. All right. Any further discussion? Wow. Love the discussion on the appointments, guys. All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All in favor of approving the appointments 1 through 7, please raise your hand. All right, this passes unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations to our new appointments wherever they are. All right, we'll go ahead and go into final roll call with Attorney General Martinez.
Thank you. Vice President Khan,
Here.
Senator Aronson, Senator Basilio,
Here.
Senator Gali,
Here.
Senator Gavino,
Here.
Senator Hermaniano Aragon,
Here.
Senator Harris, Senator Covinia,
Here.
Senator Larios,
Here.
Senator Miyoshi,
Here.
Senator Nadabure, Senator Nunez,
Here.
Senator Olgan,
Here.
Senator Perez,
Here.
Senator Pulliam,
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza, and Senator Chen.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll adjourn the special meeting at 10:09 a.m. We'll go back into our regular meeting and pick up where we left off on the Chair of Finance report with Chair Ponce.
Hey everyone, I hope everyone had a good spring break. I'll start off with the account balances. So under STAR, there is currently $115,673. In unassigned contingency, there is $664,772. In the philanthropy fund, there is $15,000. And in clubs and orgs travel, there is $25,000. In terms of my report, I already mentioned most of it. Just remember to turn in any amendments by April 7th. And aside from that, there was no action items for the March 10th Finance Committee meeting, and obviously we didn't meet last week. But yes, the past week I had gotten Katie's comments and suggestions regarding the annual budget. Those were implemented, and now the Senate does have the annual budget and the Code of Finance. And today in the Finance Committee, we have 2 supplemental requests, one from Girl Gains and another one from Leaders in Engineering and Computer Science. So looking forward to hearing discussions on those. And aside from that, I'm not going to be here the week of the 7th. So if you have any questions pertaining to the code or the annual budget, feel free to let me know before then. But that is pretty much it for my report.
Thank you, Chair Ponce. Are there any questions on the Chair of Finance's report? Senator Gavino.
For unassigned STAR funds, where do those go at the end of the year? Does it go to unassigned contingency?
They roll over,
They roll over to STAR again.
right, Chair Ponce? Tim?
Sorry.
Yeah, Chair Ponce, go ahead. I didn't know if she was going to answer. Go ahead. I can't see you.
I was actually going to redirect it to you, Tim.
Oh, go ahead. Perfect.
All right, thank you. So at the end of the year, in June, what happens is all funds that are unspent in AS come back to the general AS fund, and then that money's split, and then half of it goes to unassigned contingency, and half of it goes to AS in the back end to fill up reserves and any unspent money that needs to be filled. But STAR restarts every year. So if there is money left over, parts of it will end up in unassigned contingency just based on the split that happens with it.
Thank you.
So I was right. Kind of, right? I just gave a shorter answer. No, that's okay. Yours was a better answer. All right. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the Attorney General's report with Attorney General Martinez.
Good morning, everyone. So I hope everyone has had a lovely and restful spring break. I took after Chief of Staff. I also went to the beach. It was very lovely. Got a little sunburn, but it was worth it for the beach. So I'll just touch on chess a little bit because I bet you're a little tired of hearing about it. So the one big thing that happened was me and Senator Harris, we were able to actually have a last minute meeting with Senator Perez, who, as you know, did the SB 98 bill, which inspired our SB 4 call to action in support of undocumented students, like as Senator Jimeno Aragon noted, was passed last week. So we are able to just talk with her, and she asked for our support on more of her bills because she wanted to get this action moved up in the system, which happened and was passed. So it was really cool. And we also got to share with her how she inspired us to continue to motivate her to being for the people. So that was actually really such an impactful moment. I just also wanted to share my biggest takeaway from chess, which is really the importance of networking and communicating. You never know who you're going to meet. Me and Senator Harris didn't have a meeting with Senator Perez. We just walked into the office and asked for a business card, met the Chief of Staff, and then we got a meeting with the senator. So really, our senators are voted in by us. You have the control. They need your vote. So go express your concerns, talk to them, email them. You never know how far that can get you. So I encourage everyone to take advantage of an email. So before spring break happened, I was a little busy bee. I trained 2 new senators, Senator Gali and Senator Larios. I was working on getting the AS website updated with new senators, headshots, new office hours, and new open positions. Transition packets were sent out. If you guys want to start working on those aren't going to be due for a little bit, but just in case you want to get those done, you have it. I've been working on updating my code so that way it's a little bit more in tandem with the Chief Justice role. For committees this week, I really want to encourage you all to reach out and invite constituents and club members to the meeting so that way we can receive more input from our constituents. And then for internal, I took on 2 legislative referrals, one to look over the Chair of Communications Code and to reach out to the Pride Center to help bridge any communications and uplift both places. And then this week I'll just be catching up on emails, and I think I'll have 2 meetings scheduled. So that is what I'm doing for this week. And then as we move towards the end of the semester, I really just want to remind everyone to keep working hard and do the best we can with the time we have left. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the Attorney General's report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the standing committee reports, starting off with External Affairs with Senator Gavino.
Yes, hello everyone. Good morning. Apologies again for not being at the meeting on March 10th. I was interviewing candidates for the Dean of the University Library. That search is going well. So we still have 3 legislative referrals. No super large updates on those. Reminder to submit any legislative referrals you think external could take a look at. I'll give an update on Senate Bill 98, which, as you heard, passed committee. So now it's on its way to the Senate Judiciary Committee. And if it passes there, I believe it goes to the Senate floor. Not super informed on that, but yeah, it's making its way, so that's great. And then Senator Toledo Carranza and I were able to have a meeting with the Dream Center over spring break, where we discussed kind of opportunities for collaboration, and the financial allocation that we'll be sending to them as per our resolution. We landed on $20,000, which the Dream Center has expressed will be worked into a fellowship that they can use to hire more workers for the Dream Center due to increased demand, and get some experience for undocumented students that can't necessarily get a job on campus unless it's stipended or through a fellowship. So that's really great. Yeah, that's all from me this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the external affairs report? Seeing none, we'll go into the internal affairs report with Senator Covina.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So we have two legislative referrals that are going to be motioned out for committee recommendation. The first one's going to be advocacy across the board, and the second one's going to be amendments to the end of year celebration code. Other than that, we're working on three legislative referrals to update the duties of the Chief Justice position, again, the senator stipend, and to update and review the Chair of Personnel and Communications. I also like to second on Attorney General sentiment and appreciate her reaching out to the Pride Center. And because of that, I feel like we did meet the concerns of our constituents that came to our internal affairs meeting 2 Tuesdays ago. And I'm excited to see where that leads. That's all for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the internal affairs report? All right, seeing none, we'll move into the university affairs report with Senator Tran.
Hello. So we are working on 10 legislative referrals. I'll list them out. We're working on alternative options for parking passes, cold water and SRC, 24-hour vending machines, and then we also added protecting our gardens on campus, permanent role for Project Rebound, football, more roller whiteboards, no charge for dairy products, and exclusive Matador highlights. That's all for my report.
Thank you. Any questions on the university affairs report? All right, seeing none, we'll move into the interim AS executive director's report with Tim Shapansky.
Good morning, everyone. A couple of updates from some of the programmatic areas. Outdoor Adventures sent 4 trips out last week: Hawaii, Alaska. They did a road trip around Utah from Zion to the Grand Canyon, so a big long drive. And then some people got to float on the Colorado River. Not float, but they had to paddle. So they did some work. And our sport club, we only had one game. Men's volleyball participated in a tournament in Vegas and took second. And then real quick on the annual budget is once you all approve it here in Senate, then that goes on to the campus for their approval. So it just doesn't end. So I just kind of wanted to give you the sort of where the end is. So it'll make its way up to the campus president for her approval, and then they'll sign off on it, and then it will come back to us, and then we'll start implementing it on July 1st when our new fiscal year starts. And then the last thing, I'm just going to give a shout out to all of you here as senators and the support that you give AS. As well as everything that you do for your departments that you are representatives for. But part of that is also being a student and getting good grades. So we did a quick grade check and wanted to let you know that the average GPA of the board right now sits at 3.4. So I just kind of wanted to give a shout out that you all are holding pretty high GPAs with everything else that's going on in your life. But also wanted to shout out that there are 4 of you that are holding a 3.9 or higher. Yeah, so I just wanted to give a shout out to you all for all the good work that you do, not just with AS, but also as a student. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the AS interim executive director's report? All right. We'll go on to the University Advisors Report with Asia Butler.
Good morning. So this Thursday, we have our Cesar Chavez Volunteer and Service Fair. We're going to be on Matador Square. We're going to have food, entertainment, and we're also collaborating with the Basic Needs Office to do a food drive. So if anyone donates a non-perishable item, we're going to be giving out a free tote bag. The tote bag will either have Cesar Chavez's face on it or Dolores Huerta's face on it. So please help promote that event. We just closed nominations for the Student Organizations Awards, Leadership Awards on Sunday. So I don't know if, I know they've been looking for people to serve on committees. So if you got an email to serve on a committee to review those nominations, hope you are able to volunteer. And the deadline to apply for the Civic Newman Fellowship has been extended. I believe it's either on Sunday or Monday, but I'll send another email out to Tim to share with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the University Advisors Report? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Faculty Advisors Report with Dr. Veda Ward.
Yay, good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great break as well. I wanted to follow up on the Career Center and just make sure that you contact your regular old faculty members about that. Many of us have been asked to work with the alumni clubs in our departments. And so again, working with your faculty, you may get that connection to an alum, if not directly through the Career Center. So just remember through your department chair, your faculty members, and even your deans, you can also connect with the alumni club to build on that career relationship and potential internships. Coming up on campus, there are going to be a lot of what I would call creative events. Some of those will be related to graduate students presenting their research. I'm hoping that many of you all will consider moving on to graduate education. Tim has already talked about your wonderful GPAs, so I hope that that also goes on, and that you will be able to reach back to your current faculty members to support you in that endeavor. So his next step, of course, is going through the rest of the semester, being involved in your academic work and pursuing that as well as your balance in AS. So I'm hoping that you have a good rest of the semester. Midterms are over. You're moving forward to those shiny moments. And remember that spring is all about rebirth. So rebirth your academic experience for the rest of the semester. Yay.
Wow, snaps. Definitely snaps. Love that rebirth stuff. Let's rebirth. Thank you, Dr. Ward. Any questions on the Faculty Advisors Report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move past information items into discussion items. Okay, so I hope you all got a chance to see my email about this. So Transportation Demand Management Steering Committee feedback. So long story short, if you didn't read my email, there's a committee on campus that operates to serve as like an advisory to the transportation that happens on campus and around campus, whether that's through car, scooters, bus, bikes, skateboards, etc. And obviously finding ways to improve it. When it came around to my turn on the discussion, in my head, I was like, wait, all of our legislation that we do in AS, like there's so much of it that is about this topic in particular. Because it's over encompassing. It's not just parking. It's not just electric scooters. It's everything. So I let him know, the AS Senate feels a lot of ways about, this topic in particular and thinks that it can be greatly improved, given that we're a community campus. And so they had asked if we could provide a report to them. So I was like, yeah, that's great. So essentially what this discussion item is really going to act as is feedback from all of you. And I said in the email, I'm going to call on everyone. So I hope you prepared something. Senator Larios, it's okay if you, I know you don't have your email yet, I think, but if you do have anything and you think of it right now, it's probably really easy to come up with anything. It could be about parking, it could be about pricing, it could be about public transportation, it could be about wanting electric scooters, it could be about the bike lanes, it could be about the traffic lights, it could be about anything. And I know literally the majority of our referrals were about this topic, so I would expect that everyone has something to say. So, yeah, does anyone have any questions before we jump into it? I'll be trying to take notes, but I'm going to be working with Government Secretary Moss to hopefully put together a report when we get the great recording of this video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. We can go by alphabetical order. So the first person that gets to start. Do you want to start? Or do you have anything, or do you want to go at the end? Okay, go ahead.
All right. My biggest concerns when it comes to transportation is a lot of times the communication isn't fantastic. There will be known traffic on or around campus, and like it won't be posted anywhere. I remember last year, Monday mornings at like 8:30, they would start construction on Nordhoff, and like everybody was notoriously late to Senate. And so I feel like if campus knows, there should be a communication method of informing students. I also think that on campus, we should have increased, whether that's bike lanes, crosswalks, whatever it may be. As someone who drives a car, there have been multiple occasions where I'm like, I feel like I'm going to hit someone on a scooter right now because they're coming opposite direction of me, or they're coming behind me, or they're in my blind spot, or there's 20 cars like, jam-packed, just all trying to make a right turn because that's the only thing you can do at like certain intersections, and there's scooters coming from left and right. So I feel like good scooter/bike management and more crosswalks could be helpful. It could also be worse. I don't know anything about like civil engineering or anything, so I don't know how it should work, but I feel like there's a solution somewhere there, but that is my problem.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go down the list. Brandon is not here. Senator Basilio?
So I have a list. Can I just read it off of?
Read it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I was doing research and I went obviously to the ticket office website where they have the U-Pass. Obviously right now since it's spring, it's just set like selling the semester one, which is $95 from the start. So from January 6th through May 25th, it's $95. That seems a little pricey for one semester. And then it's not even like in the entire summer. I think there should be like the yearly pass that does encompass winter and summer terms, even if you're not a student, because the student expenses and the stresses do not go away just because we're on break. That's one. And then the parking and transportation services website, it does say that you need to like buy a parking permit, like when you're parking in the parking lot. And I've seen them, they're really outdated. They only accept cash or like a debit card. They need to be upgraded so they can accept tap because I don't know about anybody else, but I do not carry around physical cash or debit cards. I use my phone for everything. So I don't know, get with the times. Um, it's also 21 days to pay off a ticket, extend it to 30 days. I don't know. It's 21's an odd number to me. Also creating a parking permit that allows you to select how many days you're on campus, and then that should determine how much you pay. I tried to buy, I tried to buy a parking permit through my portal, which it says you can do. I tried 3 times and it did not load, so something's going on there. Their PDF on the website with prices is confusing. I can't figure out if it's $250 for a year or $500. I think AS can also like do giveaways for parking permits and maybe Metro passes to students for free. I know the USU did this like in the summer. They had people apply, who showed financial need, and maybe we can do the same.
Thank you. Really great over-encompassing points. Those are definitely really good ones that the committee must hear. Okay, we'll go on to our next senator, Senator Ghali. Do you have any thoughts, input? I don't know if you have your email yet. Do you have your
No,
email yet?
no, I
Okay,
don't have
well, that's
access
fine.
today.
If you have anything on the top of your mind, that'd be great.
I would just like to tell about the security about the scooters on campus. Like, I personally lost my scooter. Like, oh yeah. I personally lost my scooter just and at the Dearborn Street. Like, it doesn't come under the on campus, but then yeah, I just want to tell about this.
Got it. So like security around was your scooter like locked on one of the things?
No, no, it was like locked on the phone, so
Oh.
I usually log that on
Oh.
phone. So whenever someone moves the scooter, so it just beeps.
Like an alarm.
Yeah,
I
like
get
an
it.
alarm. Yeah.
Okay. So increased security around
Yeah.
just scooters and bikes on campus
On
that are left
campus.
unattended.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you. That's great. All right, Senator Gavino.
Yeah, just briefly, two things. Both referring to referrals that I've submitted last semester. I submitted a referral about parking availability signs. They're on pretty much every parking structure on campus except for the Prairie entrance of G3, which is one of the busiest entrances and the busiest structure, I'd say, just anecdotally. They have the infrastructure because there is a parking availability sign on the other entrance, which is on the first floor. I don't know if there's an issue because it's on the second floor. But yeah, it's really difficult, especially those first 4 weeks of the semester when it's really busy. It can fill up at times, and nobody knows because there's no parking availability sign there when there is one on every other entrance of every other structure. And then yeah, alternative parking permits. I also submitted that referral. Students should have more flexibility. They shouldn't have to decide to be on campus all 7 days, especially when they're commuter students and they're coming from far away. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I really agree with that. Alternative parking passes thing kind of goes into our conversation on CSUN Ready and the fact that it was really just an over-encompassing payment, but you're not really getting much out of it. So it's essentially you're subscribing to something on the university, and nothing as a student should feel like a subscription. You should be getting as much as you can out of every payment that you have. So I agree with that. Okay, Senator Geminiano Aragon.
Yes, so I want to echo Senator Basilius' concern on transportation. I know that other CSUs like Bakersfield provide it for free, so students don't even have to pay. So I'd like to know how possible that is also for our area. Um, Also, I've noticed that some areas for the bus pickup are a little bit on the old side, so it's getting a little bit unsafe for students, or there's literally nothing. There's just like a street that everyone knows that that's like how you get picked up. So I think maybe we can improve those areas. Also, I don't know if there is a specific area for maybe Ubers or services like those, so that maybe we can centralize them around campus and students are specifically know where they can get those services. And then I know that some students have concerns about their parking passes and whether they would be able to have like instead of a yearly parking pass, maybe just I don't know, like 2 days per week kind of pass. So
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move past Senator Harris into Senator Covinia.
First thing would be maybe yielding signs. This is primarily if you pass the Soraya. I noticed there's like it's a very heavy traffic zone, and so many times, even with the rampant electric scooters, that's very hazardous. I don't know if they're gonna stop or go. And then they have like a lot of deliveries, whether it's produce or like trucks. So I think there should be definitely like a yield sign where it's safe, not safe to cross. And then the second notion was it's kind of a major change, but on that same left turn while you're before merging into the Soraya. Is there on Nordhoff? Is there any possibility we can do like a left arrow instead of a yielding green? I don't know if there's enough space to do that. Maybe we can get like re-landscape, but I think that's very essential. And that's going to be sooner or later. That's going to be a collision if it isn't, if it hasn't already happened.
Thank you. Yeah, and I want to mention this really quick so it's on the record. I remember when I was a senator, something that we had been working on is possibly, well, I mean, we didn't do it. Obviously, they're not there, but like having speed bumps on Darby because of how fast people are driving and the amount of traffic of people walking from the apartments alongside Darby onto campus. So I'll say that for the record. Cool. Senator Larios, do you have anything that you want to add? If not, it's okay. Just anything off the top of your head.
I would say getting rid of like the requirement of having to put your parking permit on your dash, just because I've gotten a ticket before when I bought my permit for the day, just because it wasn't on display. And I just think it's a really big inconvenience to have to go online and contest that. And you only have 21 days. So I think it's like something they should update.
Thank you. You know, that's actually something that I've been questioning if you need to put them on your dash or not, because I feel like I've been told two different things of like you do, and then some people say you don't because they scan it by the license plate. So if the plate has the paid for the permit, then Senator Nunez. Yeah, yeah.
So, well, so if you have a parking permit, like an annual or semester, you obviously don't have anything to provide, so you just scan it. But if you buy the daily use, you have to put it on your dash, like mandatory, you have to. It has to be visible,
Wow.
or else you will get a ticket.
Wow. Asia, do you want to?
I was just gonna say, yeah, because you have to think about it. When you buy a daily pass, you're not putting in your license plate number.
Yeah, you
Oh,
do.
you do? Oh, okay. Well, then they should be able to. I know at
Yeah.
Cal State LA, I got a permit. Did I put my thing on the dash? I can't remember, but
I don't know. I think that's like there's like a myth behind that. It's either it does or it doesn't, but let's put that in the report on the record just to confirm. Yeah, because that's weird. Bless you. Okay, well, thank you. Senator Miyoshi, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I've actually remember making a legislative referral regarding the bike. Hmm? Yeah, I remember making a legislative referral in regards to the bike lane near, I think, Jacaranda Hall, and I don't think much has changed about it at all. I mean, it's continued to fade. There's another bike lane that spans, I think, the baseball field and the soccer field, and that one has also been fading. And walking to and from that route, usually there's tons of electric scooters, and usually because all the people are walking in like every single location at once, it's not uncommon to see the scooters just weave past them uh well, to keep maintaining their speed, and does just kind of seems like the lanes aren't really there at all, because it just kind of feels like everything's being treated as if it's just, I guess, the same. And the crosswalk for the crosswalk that's directly connected to that very walkway, that's usually congested. And I guess it's kind of hard to think about when to walk, because whenever there's so many cars coming, there's not really a way to organize when people should stop walking so the cars can go through, and when the cars should stop so we can walk through. And we usually get priority, but I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement there. And also the constant need for parking spaces. If it's like maybe a issue with not having enough spaces for all the cars, then I mean, public transportation, improving that would probably go a long way in reducing our need to even buy cars or have a place to keep them. Oh, what's this there? I'm not sure what could be done about the parking situation because I'm not sure if we need more spaces or if we just need to reduce the need for cars. If we could reduce the need for cars, I think that would be more impactful than just adding more spaces because that's not going to do anything about them. That's only just going to increase the maintenance costs. And I don't want to imagine the cost of the parking tickets to because you're still gonna have to deal with those. And I think something should be done about the parking tickets because I mean it's already expensive enough to go to this college and many others.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Senator Miyoshi. We'll now go into Senator Nunez. Go ahead.
So, for me, I agree with Senator Gavino of the number of the parking spots like that it shows on each of the parking garages. I think that is super important to just have everywhere all around to know what you're kind of getting yourself into, especially on high congested days. Um, I think a big thing that comes to mind for this is the paying separate for the dorm parking and then like the campus parking. As it's like student housing is obviously not cheap. You're still paying a lot. I think there should be an option where they're conjoined and not separated and you're paying two separate things. Um, I know you could like shuttle from the housing and things like that, but people obviously could still would want to drive to campus, so why not have it in a more affordable way for the students since they're already paying for it. Um, Also being able to park overnight at the parking lots. I know I have personally called one time because I was like leaving out of town on a weekend and where I lived in my apartment at the time had like street parking or street cleaning, so I had to park somewhere, so I had to call and they let me, but they said that they will only let like certain people or something like that. So I just thought that was interesting, like why do we need to let them know? Or also, I mean, if you already pay, like I know, for example, people at Aspire or something, obviously that's another business of you have to pay like $100 overnight, and that's not like for the campus. But why not, if you're already paying for a parking permit for this semester, you should be able to park it. Or some people, have to sleep here overnight on the weekend or like Monday I don't know, just never know the student's circumstances. So that should be available, I feel like, obviously with the valid parking permit. Um, what was it? Wait, sorry. Oh, another thing, the parking permit allows you to have, for example, like 5 vehicles throughout the year, semester. I think that, there should be not the, like if you park one car, you can't park another car for that 24-hour period. Like the second car will get the ticket. Some people, have to like carpool or use a separate car, their kid had to give, I don't know, there's so many circumstances that could happen that you have to use one or two cars. You already paid the 250 or the 500 plus dollars. Why should you have to only use the one vehicle per day if it's all the same parking permit? I mean, there's only 5 vehicles per day, obviously, like, and I know maybe that could be so many other reasonings of like abusive of car vehicles, but I mean, you're paying for a fee. It should be reasonable to use like other vehicles per out that day if you already paid for that permit. Um, I agree with Senator Jaiminiano Aragon on the DoorDash Uber spots. Just like a spot around campus could be really beneficial because a lot of students do Uber on campus. They do not have a vehicle or don't use the metro, so that would be more convenient, especially I've seen so many Ubers around campus that are just like not knowing where to get dropped off, and it's really congested in some streets around campus, so it's just like more anxiety prone on like where do you get dropped off and then you're stopped and then it's like people are behind you and I don't know. And also DoorDash, a lot of students are here the whole day. So having that, I also agree with Senator Miyoshi on the lights for the crosswalks, especially because, for example, like B3 and B5 is so congested and sometimes it takes an hour to even find a parking lot. And obviously the pedestrians have the right of way, but it's also like, okay, I've been waiting here for 10 minutes. Like, can the pedestrian stop for a second, please? Just having like that crosswalk light maybe might just make it more easier to, 1 minute crosswalk, 1 minute cars, like things like that, and also could prevent accidents. I think that's all I wrote for right now. Yeah.
Thank you. That definitely does remind me of another point that I want to put on the record about the fact that they don't allow the parking permit to be used for another vehicle within the same 24 or 48 hours. Like, if I'm gonna be so honest, like even aside from those circumstances, it's a little jarring to me that they're not allowing students to share parking permits because it's like you paid for it. Like that $250, that allocated amount is being used the same way as everyone would if I'm a student and I go 7 days a week versus here's another student that goes 4 days a week and they want to give it to someone else that's going to use it the other 3 days. It should be the same amount. You know what I'm saying? It should be the same. And it's another question of like, are they just using our students to like as an economy of scale? You know what I'm saying? And it's things to consider. Definitely things to question. I wouldn't come at them strong like that, but definitely question it and say like, hello, I'm definitely going to. All right. Next person is Senator Olgan.
Thank you. I have several, so I prefer emailing to you, but just to respect everybody's time. The number one, that biggest issue is that we're in front of Jacaranda building where the construction site, and then which is Linley and Vincent's, that part. Yeah, especially Tuesdays, right? I feel I was about to get hit by a truck because the rush there, they don't have patience, because if they don't see anybody with, especially cars, they just want to go, because if they if they happen to wait for someone, that never stops, right, for pedestrians. So I think there should be definitely either a traffic light or the person, but I think it will be difficult. Because especially Tuesdays with the farmers market, it gets even more hectic. So that's number one. The second thing is that right in front of the shuttle waiting area and bike shop, sustainability center. So this stop sign and pedestrian cross is very odd. So person who wants to turn in left to where the bike shop is, but the car's already waiting. Like it should be like two separate stop signs instead of one line and then two stop signs. That one. Yeah.
I think I'm getting what you're saying. I think I'm picking up
I
what you're
sent
putting
the
down, but the email would be very
Yes,
helpful.
with the
Yes.
pictures.
Send it to me and then we can add that in the report better. Okay, Senator Perez.
As someone who does not drive, I have a lot to say. I just want to also second Senator Basilio with the giveaways. I think they have been beneficial, and I do hear a lot of people getting really excited when they hear they're giving a parking permit away. I will say when I've noticed that we are doing those, at least through AS, a lot of them happen after people have already purchased parking permits. So it's kind of like we're giving away things that may not necessarily be resourceful, or we also might not be able to get any participation with those things if people already don't have a need for it. Not to discount that there is a need, I just think timing is very important with that. And then I also want to echo President Karoum with the speed bumps on Darby. I actually know an old employee from CSUN who had gotten into an accident on that road and was in a leg cast, and it was a very big thing where she was out of work, I think, for like almost a month, at least a couple of weeks. And as someone who lives off of Darby, it is very scary being over there and seeing how many people will just breeze right through that. There's a barrier between I believe it's by the D6 and E6 parking lots. There's probably a reason with traffic congestion and all those things. But I talked about it with President Karoum, who does not like it, and thought I would mention it. And if that's actually helping with traffic congestion or just making it harder for students to accessibly get to all parts of campus. Seconding the DoorDash Uber drop-off location, while it seems trivial, it is a big, especially what Senator Nunez was saying about students who Uber here. It's a bit very important, as well as it's just important that people know any external person visiting CSUN knows how to get to any part of campus. I did want to add in that the price of the parking spot sometimes is almost the equivalent to if you have a personal parking spot nearby. So if the intention of the, I'm sorry, was it the committee or whoever was in charge of setting those prices is to be a little maybe money-minded. That's just one thing that I think is important for them to know. And if they want to be competitive with pricing, they should lower it so students buy the parking here versus other places nearby where they can just walk from. And then with the bike and scooter lanes on Jacaranda Walk, I've noticed as beneficial as I think they are, if they're going to take resources to paint or do something different over there, I don't think it's beneficial as allocating those resources to other things that would be more beneficial. Just because having a bike and scooter lane in that area, while it's important to have, a lot of people just don't care, or the majority of students are walking there. So I'm personally, when I use a scooter, there's a lot of people already walking in that lane and won't move or whatnot. So I have to go around anyway. So if that requires a lot of resources to repaint, add more things there, whatnot, I think allocating those resources somewhere else would be more beneficial for the committee's ideas with parking permits, things like that. And then lastly, this is just one of the more recent events in mind and things like that. There is a Trader Joe's that's supposed to open near CSUN, and their history of parking lots are horrible. So I would say I don't know the date. They just say 2025. If they're smart, they'll plan to open it the first couple of weeks of the fall semester. In that case, school traffic would be worse. So I just want that on their radar. So when they are going into planning the first couple of weeks of school and how they combat all the traffic and congestion and all that, that there is the possibility that that's an added factor that wasn't there before. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really good points. I will say, for the permits, that AS gives away now and in the past, parking services will refund, students that receive those parking passes, if they get it from a giveaway or something. So that's for everyone's knowledge. All right, Senator Pulliam. Oh, wait. Senator Olgan, you have a question?
Regarding to the one, if you receive free parking permit, it's only dedicated to one car, so it's not up to 5 car in my knowledge. So that could be adjusted because it's nice that they are giving as same like you're paying, but you don't have to pay. But with their rule is only for one car. But what happens if your car is broke down or something happened?
No,
So
I
maybe
think
that could be changed.
I think all permits are you could put multiple cars. John?
The free one is only
5,
one
yeah.
car.
No, you could do 5. I'm not trying to gaslight you. I think that's the truth, Vice President Khan.
I think you're getting confused with how many cars you can have on the permit versus how many you can park at a time. Per parking permit, you can only park one car physically on campus at a time, but you can register up to 5 cars. So I have my car, my stepdad's, my mom's, my dad's, because randomly my car will break down, but I don't use theirs. I'm only parking my car typically. If that
Right.
makes
When
sense.
I went to pick up, because I'm one of the recipient, which is like months, but when I went to receive it from the parking place, they asked me specifically which car I will put under, and then they said this is only for this car. The free parking permit we receive is only for this car.
Interesting. Well,
Yes,
we could
that's
follow
what
up.
they told me. Yeah.
Well, we can have that on the record for the report, and then we can follow up on that. Yeah, because usually it is you can have 5, and then it is just that 24 or 48 hour kind of layover in between parking the cars on campus or not, where you'll start feeling like a ticket or something like that. We'll talk about it after. Senator Pulliam.
Okay, so I have a few different ones. For one, I feel like I remember at one point I had a friend visit me and they're not dorming and they I'm dorming and they parked in the dorming lots and then they got a ticket. I feel like if they're already paying the like pass, it already is a lot. And also to for people that are paying the pass that aren't like residents here, they do like they have to pay the 10% parking occupancy tax where residents do not. So I don't know the numbers exactly because I'm know how much I paid for mine, but not necessarily how much they paid for theirs. So like just looking at that, I'm like possibly they could be paying more, although they still got a ticket for part like they only get access to less lots, if that makes sense. So I feel like allowing them to park there it could be really good because I feel like that's kind of like doesn't make sense in my brain. It's like you're paying for it, but then you still need to get a parking pass to park in another CSUN lot. And also too, I remember my friend had no idea and I was like, I don't know, but I think you should be fine. And then they got a lot, they got a ticket. So I feel like also too, if that continues, making it a lot more clear. However, I strongly feel like they should be able to still park in the residential parking. And then another one too is like how Senator Cavigna said, like try to get more like left turns near like around campus where people typically turn left to go into the parking lots. That could be very beneficial because there definitely is times where you have to wait like 2, 3 lights to actually be able to turn, and that's not too fun. And then for the shuttle, I know that one thing that we had worked on in the university committee was seeing if we can, like we discussed possibly extending the hours. However, with like the funding that they have, they don't see that as like something that will be able to be done. However, I feel like if we were able to make like an app where you can like see how long it take, like how long you have to wait for the next bus to arrive, that could be very beneficial because I remember I saw something online about like metros or whatever subways had done that and that made a lot more people happy because they were able to know how long they had to wait instead of having to sit there and be like, should I wait, should I not, I don't know. So I feel like that could be very beneficial and very helpful all around because then people know like, oh, I should walk because it'll take this long or I'm gonna wait, and just be more secure with that. And then lastly, after the scooter thing was mentioned by, I forgot your name again, by Senator Galley. I looked it up and I was like, I know that the DPS you can register your bikes. However, I was like, with how many scooters are here, like I feel like they should do that as well. And I looked at there is a article by the Sundial from 2014 that had mentioned that you can also like register your scooters with DPS. I had not known that and I had searched up on like their website like register scooters like CSUN, and there's not really a page dedicated to that. There's a lot of information on registering bikes but not scooters. So I feel like I'd want to see more of that. And if that is something that they do still do, to have more advertising and knowledge about that, because with the times you guys all see how many scooters are on campus, and how much they are being used. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Senator Pulliam. We'll now move on to our last senator, Senator Tran.
Hello. So I work on all the parking related legislative referrals at University Affairs, and I'll say to Isaac, the parking availability sign, they told me it's a good idea that they asked why don't we have a sign, but they also told me that they update live parking availability on the CSUN app, so students can check like whether how many spaces are in B5 available. And in 2 weeks, I have another meeting with them talking about alternative parking passes. So that'll be fun. And bike lane repairs, I talked to them a while ago. They told me they'll look into repainting it. I gave them an idea suggesting maybe just painting like the bike lane green so people know and can differentiate. And I also talked about traffic lights, adding traffic lights to the crosswalks, the busy crosswalks. They told me it'll cost like $1 million to set up, so they don't think it's possible. And they told me they hire people to work the traffic only on very busy days. Yeah.
Thank you. Very helpful. Senator Gavino.
Thank you for letting me know about the CSUN app thing. The only thing I would say against that is if I'm a commuter student, it's driving 30 minutes to the school. If I check the app before, it's going to be very different when I arrive. And students should not be expected to be on their phones while they're driving and finding a spot. So I think it would just be easier to have a sign there, but I understand where they're coming from. So thank you.
True. I would encourage that. Senator Tran?
I think they're still trying to work on adding the sign there.
We'll push them with the report. How about that? Okay. Well, that's everyone. Thank you, everyone. Is there anyone that wants to add anything in particular? And if you did, oh, Asia, go ahead.
I just wanted to add something about the scooters being stolen or taken. So one time I went to DPS to do something with my parking permit, and this guy came in with 2 scooters saying like, "Oh, I found these scooters, and if nobody claims them and whatever day or, however long the day is, he wanted to pick them up." So I was like, is this, this guy just going around collecting scooters and just, if they're not locked up, taking them to DPS and then waiting to see if anybody comes and claims them? So if you haven't already gone to DPS, do that. But I do think there are people who go around and just will collect scooters if they're not locked up, and they may take them over there or they may take them, period. So just be mindful of that.
That's a good thing. They should at least like leave a note where they like, oh, hey, by the way, snatched your scooter, stole your property. Just kidding. Tim, go ahead.
I'm also jump a little bit on the scooter bandwagon. California Vehicle Code 21230 states that it's illegal to have scooters on sidewalks. The problem is the 2 bike lanes that we have on campus are on sidewalks. So it creates this sort of dilemma. So if those were shifted to the streets and the students on scooters were able to go around and there were maybe bike lanes on the streets, we might have a little less struggle. I don't know if it will or will not, but it is illegal to have them on sidewalks. And so just for everybody's clarification.
Thank you. Good point, Tim. We should sue them. Asia, go ahead.
I just want to add another thing. I appreciate Senator Tran, giving some updates. When it comes to the traffic, I don't know what they're called, the staff who are out there with the traffic. I know you said that they do it on busy days, but it's pretty busy in the morning every day, and it's pretty busy at certain points in the afternoon, right? And the Darby backs up all the way to Reseda, so it really affects the whole community. So I think that if they could do an assessment where they just assess for 2 weeks certain areas to see like if they need to have more staffing, at certain points of the day, even over by, I don't know what that street is where they're doing all the construction for the new Equity Innovation Hub, Lindley. No, not Lindley. The other one, where OST Lawn is, where Vincennes? That's a bottleneck too, right? You got students trying to cross the street, you got cars trying to do whatever they're doing, and plus construction trucks coming in and out. So I think that if they could just have a way where they could be more responsive to what's happening on campus and not just only focus on the beginning of the school year, but throughout the school year, I think everybody could really benefit from having traffic people helping get cars and pedestrians where they need to go.
Thank you. Any other additions to the discussion? Okay. I mean, if you guys did write down the things that you were saying, please go ahead and email them to me if you have them. That'd be really helpful in kind of putting together the report. I'm sorry, Chair Ponce and Chief of Staff Ramos, did you guys want to add anything? I will not browse over my ex officio members. If you have anything, it's okay if you don't. I didn't even send you the email. But if you don't have anything, it's okay. Just tell me right now. You have something? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've had multiple friends whose their scooters were stolen. It's really sad to see, especially my one friend who just bought it and day 2 stolen. I felt awful. But I did see while walking around Sac State when we went to chess that Sacramento has like specific designated areas where there's like a security guard for like the bikes and scooters and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool at CSUN to have it like fully guarded. Because if the guard saw a guy walking out with two scooters, that would look awfully suspicious. So that's definitely a thought. Again, pretty big, probably won't get done until like the next 6 years. But like just a thought, just a thought.
That's a really good point. I mean, we do have like that bike cage that's in B3 that I don't think has been touched in years. Tim, go ahead.
So yeah, pre-COVID, I want to say early 2010, the campus, there was a campus quality fee to put bike cages in certain parking structures. I think the one struggle we'll always have is if you're going to bring alternative transportation here to campus, parking it over here and then walking to the middle of the campus, students just want to park it in the general location or close to where they're at. And AS did do another campus quality fee, probably 15, 16, 17, to get more bike secure racks in different locations. But I think, and I guess the other thing would just be education on how to lock up scooters and what you're using in that space. Because pre-COVID, there was also a lot of bikes at that point being stolen. I think if we can do education on what type, just putting a chain on your scooter might not be it. You might have to have something bigger or better to help you if you want to save it. So I think if we work in that educational space, we might be able to help our students as well.
Even getting better like bike racks that have the locks already on them so that the campus knows like, hey, we're not liable because the locks that we have are really good. So if you didn't lock it properly, that's kind of on you. But that's where I would say, okay, my fault, my bad parking. Leslie, do you have anything? If not, it's okay.
Not really related to like parking, but in terms of scooters, I know I've been in like lecture halls where there's like four scooters on the side of the um in the side of the room. So I'd say more places for students just to lock up those scooters so that you're not tripping over them in class.
Yeah, I agree. I've had some professors that are pretty, I don't know. They're pretty strict about like having scooters inside the classroom because they're like, it's a fire hazard, it's a fire hazard, it's a fire hazard. And then some professors will say, no, it's okay. But no, yeah, I agree with that too. Okay. Any other additions? Okay, well, thank you everyone. I really appreciate your contributions to this. And I'm maybe it might be a report that you all can end up approving, but I'll see how that will work. I'll talk to Denise about it. But okay, I'm gonna go into referrals. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, we have quite a few referrals because when we were away at chess, the referrals were not read out then. So there's a good amount. So first one is going to be from Senator Basilio titled Statement in Support of the Transgender Community. The request is AS should make a resolution in support of the transgender community in specific. This resolution should not be one that encompasses the LGBTQIA community as a whole because the transgender community is continuously targeted by the current federal administration. That's awesome. Suggested to External Affairs. It'll go to External Affairs. Oh, this is actually submitted by Senator Basilio and Senator Hemiano Aragon. Okay. Next one is from Senator Harris, titled Vending Machine Map. The request is make a map of each vending machine in every college and what the vending machine has to ensure all students have full accessibility and knowledge of where vending machines are located. Suggested to University Affairs. It will go to University Affairs. Next one is from Senator Harris, titled Announcements of Standing Committee Times. The request is work with marketing to increase knowledge of when/where standing committees are to constituents. Read out to all club presidents to invite to be a part of standing committees. Suggested to University Affairs. I will send this to Internal Affairs. Next one is titled Add Vending Machines to the Library. The request is during late study hours when the cafe is not open and students can get drinks and snacks without leaving campus. Suggested to University Affairs. It will go to University Affairs. Give me 1 second. Sorry, needed clarification. Next one is titled from Senator Harris, titled Amend Attorney General Code. The request is amend the Attorney General Code to better reflect the position. Suggested to Internal Affairs. That will go to Internal Affairs. The next one does not have a title, but it's sent in by Senator Harris. The request is the Attorney General shall coordinate with a Senate representative to make weekly debriefing reports of the Senate to be submitted to marketing to be posted on the AS Instagram and emailed out to all students. Suggested to University Affairs. I will send this to Internal Affairs. Give me 1 sec. 1 second. Okay, next one is titled, from Senator Harris, titled, Read out referrals that are tabled indefinitely. The request is for any referral that is tabled indefinitely, the chair of the committee should explain that in their report. Suggested to University Affairs. I will send this to Internal Affairs. Last one from Senator Basilio, titled Senate Reports. Request is all senators should be required to submit weekly reports to ensure transparency about what they're doing. These reports should be submitted to the Vice President and Attorney General to be read aloud. Suggested to all three committees. I'll send this to External Affairs to balance out the work. Oh, were you guys like betting what committee I was going to send it to? That's funny. Okay, cool. That's all our referrals. Thank you all for submitting. And when I say thank you all, thank you 3 people. I'm just kidding. Thank you, everyone. This is a collective effort always. We'll go into announcements. I have 2 things I needed to add that I didn't have in my report. The end of year celebration form is due tomorrow night. So if you're graduating or if you want to nominate anyone for an award for the end of year celebration, make sure to do that by tomorrow night. Spread the word to your friends in other AS departments. Also, if you haven't seen it and you're coming back for the fall semester, registration dates have been posted on your portals. I believe that's for everyone. I don't know about grad students, but undergrad, I'm pretty sure. So check that out. Hopefully we saw prior to registration. I don't know. Denise, I don't know if that's true. Oh man, we don't? That sucks. Okay, that's my announcement. Vice President Kong.
Adding to the end of year award form, I got a lot of messages over the spring break about who you can nominate. Anyone who's qualified that's in Associated Students, do not limit yourself to Senate or Cabinet if you're in Senate or Cabinet respectively. Like, it can be anyone. I'm personally nominating Daniel for every single award over and over again. No justification, just nomination. Yes. But yes, expand your horizons with your nominations.
Thank you. I agree with that. Try to make friends with the other departments and nominate them. The end of year celebration committee knows the trend of nominations. I know. Senator Pulliam.
Thank you, Naraya. Shout out to you for always pointing my direction. No, just kidding. Anyway, on April 4th, I am having my art event for if any of you guys are available. More advertising will be out hopefully this week. I'm working on it today and tomorrow with marketing. And it'll be April 4th, 10 a.m., Johnson Auditorium. Look out for that. Put it on your calendars. Tell your people.
Thank you. Senator Basilio.
I also have an event on Wednesday, March 26th. It's my Hang with Humanities event. It's like a chill town hall. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the Thousand Oaks room in the USU. Please tell everybody that you know to go. There will be portos. I have to give that list of things I want to Denise. I'm sorry. I have to do that today. And there will be hot chocolate, hopefully. So yeah, please, please tell them to go. Please.
Delish. Nothing sounds like a better time than Portos and hot chocolate. Hey, Senator Gavino.
Yeah, this Thursday, March 27th, in the East Conference Center, the La Crescenta room, the Dream Center will be hosting a student ally training. The goal of the event is to provide participants with the knowledge, skills, and tools to effectively support and advocate for undocumented students and their families. They aim to foster a campus culture of understanding, equity, and inclusion by raising awareness and empowering allies. It'll be from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And there's an RSVP form on their Instagram. Their link tree.
Thank you. Senator Basilio?
Sorry, I forgot about my other event, even though it's the bigger one. It's I'm collabing with the chair of DEI. Obviously, you guys know him, Omar. It's my Remember the Storm event. It's on April 2nd. I just remember we don't have a Senate meeting next week, so I need to say that like now. It's from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We're gonna have guest speakers from like the different ethnic studies department because it is about a documentary that shows how ethnic studies got created. So please tell anybody that's majoring in that or wants to learn more about the history here at CSUN. Yeah, there will be, I don't know about food, but there will be water, hopefully.
Thank God. If anyone's dehydrated, go. I will also say we have silent disco on Wednesday. What time is it at? 6 p.m. silent disco. Also, I know that there's queer prom is happening as a part of the DEI events next week. Next Thursday, 5 to 9:30, I think. You should go. I think I'm gonna be there. So, queer or not, you can be an ally. Allies are welcome. Allies are welcome. Cool. Any other announcements? Oh, Senator Olgan.
We are having our town hall April 1st, Tuesday from 3 to 5 in Education Courtyard.
Thank you. Go to that too. Senator Gavino.
This is a long one, but I have it written down, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm just doing this because we don't have a meeting next week. But next Monday, March 31st, is Cesar Chavez Day, as you know. While many likely know about the labor organization of Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, and United Farm Workers, the work of Larry Eat Leong is not as well known or celebrated. Larry Eat Leong was a Filipino-American union organizer, most well known for organizing the Delano Grape Strike, a Filipino-American farm worker strike in Delano, California in 1966. Larry Eat Leong led the Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee, who organized the strike. And it was this Delano Grape Strike that caught the attention of Cesar Chavez and his group, the National Farm Workers Association, whose mainly Mexican-American membership joined with Eat Leong and the Filipino-American workers on the picket lines. This unity would lead to a merger of the National Farm Workers Association and the Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee to form United Farm Workers, the labor organization most associated with Cesar Chavez. I say this all to just expand our knowledge and the inclusive histories of the labor rights and civil rights movement, and to acknowledge the work of Chavez and Eat Leong in choosing to unite their respective communities. The legacy of Cesar Chavez, Larry Eat Leong, and so many others in the farm workers movement reminds us about the necessity of inclusion in our advocacy and of inclusion in our histories. It reminds us that we are stronger when we are truly united and willing to listen to voices across the diverse communities we reside in. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Senator Gavino, for bringing that up. Any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and go to final roll call with Attorney General Martinez.
All right, roll call for the last time. Vice President Khan.
Here.
Senator Aronson. Senator Basilio.
Here.
Senator Gali.
Here.
Senator Gavino.
Here.
Senator Hermaniano Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris. Senator Covina.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Larios.
Here.
Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Senator Nadapure. Senator Nunez.
Here.
Senator Olgan.
Here.
Senator Perez.
Here.
Senator Pulliam.
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza. And Senator Chan.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 11:20 a.m. Have a great week, everyone.